How important is it to get off to a good start, especially with Boston giving up nearly 113 to opponents?
Well, I think it's very important. The one thing, of course, is getting off to a good start offensively. We've got to get our defense into this game. They're extremely efficient, high-paced offense. A lot of that is their scoring duo. But with Tatum out, there's not going to be a ton of drop-off. I think the difference between this year and last year's team is the ability of these teams to play together. So that ball has continued to move. They're shooting the three at a high rate, shooting a number of threes. So I don't anticipate seeing a ton of drop-off. But it is important for us to get our defense into the game early.
Wes, that last game here, Brogdon seemed like every time he touched the ball, he had feet in the paint, either him scoring or finding shooters. Mm-hmm. When he comes into the game, how important is it to keep him out of the paint?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of people out of the paint. Brown he's a downhill guy. In transition, coast to coast drives. So it's one thing to say, hey, they shoot a lot of threes, but they do a terrific job of once they create the advantage of keeping the advantage. So we have to kind of negate that to some degree. Be cleaning in our pick and roll coverage, better one-on-one containment, and I think that ability to keep bodies in front of bodies will help minimize some of the threes.
The bench scoring tonight, obviously, do we know if Rui's good to go? Is he game time decision?
Yeah, it's still game time.
Okay.
Yeah.
But where can you find some more scoring from the bench with him, whether he plays or doesn't play?
Well, I think it's not just the scoring. I think it's our shot quality at times, minimizing turnovers, minimizing empty possessions, making sure that we continue to move the ball. At times, I think we stagnate a bit. That second group, and we want to stay away from it with this team. In particular, they do a terrific job of switching on and off the ball. They're going to force you into tough, contested, mid-range shots. So, it's a priority for us to keep energy in that ball, keep the ball moving, and kind of attack them the same way they attack, most defenses. Create the advantage and keep it.
Kind of playing off what Megan said about bench production. Gafford had 3 field goals. They're all allowed, but I'm sure there's more you want from him. What is that?
Well, I thought he was better the other night in Miami. Just his activity, his energy. Played with a level of physicality I think we need. He's not a guy you're going to feature in the post. There's some nights he'll get some duck-ins. But the teams that are switching, negate his advantage in pick and rolls. So that's where he's got to find a way to impact the game, whether it's on the glass, screening, creating advantage off the ball, playing behind the defense, being an outlet for those drop-off passes, getting shots to the rim, and then he goes in and cleans it up. All those are little things and easy ways, but I think it's just a little different than how he normally would impact, the offense.
Made a decision on Kuz yet? Is he still game time? And how much changes if he's not in the lineup?
Still game time. He's nursing a little sore back. It is what it is. I think we've had guys in and out all season. So we'll just next man up has to be ready to go. Of course, one of your top scorers is out. Someone's going to fill that void. It's not going to be one person. Hopefully, a group effort can help, sustain us.
Any update on Monte or Johnny?
Still game time.
When did Kuz sustain the injury, or is it something he's been carrying for a while?
I wouldn't say it was an injury. I just think, he's played a lot of minutes. He was complaining of a sore back, I believe, yesterday evening. Got some treatment this morning. We didn't shoot around because of the early start, so got treated again after the ballroom walkthrough. So I'm hoping that he'll be available, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Coach, one of the Dallas assistants said that a lot of teams are kind of in the same middle class. Lose some, win a few, back and forth. Is there any? I know you've sort of been in the same category. Is there a reason for that? I know obviously you talked about health, but
right.
Yeah,
that plays a big role in it, I believe.
Yeah.
Obviously, having your best players available,
yeah,
helps you play at a high level. But
yeah.
I think it's also important to be able to sustain a certain level of play on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
There's ebbs and flows in the game that happens, but minimizing those stretches,
yeah,
where those those 12 2-runs, the 14 4-runs.
Yep.
How do you start quarters, and then you win the last 2 or 3 minutes of each quarter? So now you carry that momentum into the next period. That's kind of the mindset you have to have. It's not going to be perfect, for 48 minutes, but just try to play as close to perfect as possible.
Third quarter seems to be a struggle still. What would you like to see change coming out of the locker room in that third quarter?
Well, I think it's some of it is in the second quarter as well. We could argue that it's some of the bench lineup. It's we've had a number of different combinations because of the guys out. So those guys developing a certain level of chemistry, probably hasn't happened yet. But I think it's those middle quarters have been an issue. On the flip side, we've been really good in the fourth. So it's good that we've been able to balance it a bit, but trying to minimize those deficits, those long stretches and long runs, I believe, in the second that blend a lot of times into the third, beginning of the third. But coming back out of half, with our sustained energy, I think is important. Sometimes we ease our way into it. Now all of a sudden you're down, a significant run, and you're playing uphill.
Kind of an odd question about KP, but so he stopped kind of shooting right before the game's pregame. It's just how did that decision come about? Is that something where him
Personal
team?
decision, yeah. I think guys, he gets his work done pre-practice, post-practice. Shoot around days is kind of whatever it takes for that guy to feel like he's ready to go. I know he's done that in the past, not just here, but in Dallas. So it's not unusual. But I know he's struggled a little bit last few games. I think that's normal. He's shooting at such a high rate. It's going to find a level at some point. But I don't foresee it just being a sustained problem. All right, thanks everybody.